I have 25 plus years of IT experience as a developer, manager, project manager, author, consultant, etc. And 20 plus years of that is project management experience, generally in a technical environment. This video is brought to you by Project Smart at www.projectsmart.co.uk. It's a great independent project management site full of articles, helpful information for project managers, free templates, free ebooks, places to buy project management books, a great forum to network with other project managers and ask questions and respond to questions and seek advice. And it's a great site. I recommend you check it out. Again, that's www.projectsmart.co.uk. Now, what I'd like to talk to you about is approaches to risk management today. And I'm going to talk about what risk management is it important, do you need a formal risk plan, we can talk a little bit about tools, and we can conclude with some common risk management mistakes. So, first off, what is risk management? Risk management is the process of identifying risks, assessing risks, taking steps to reduce risk to an acceptable level, planning for mitigating risks, and hopefully avoiding risks on your project. Is it important? Yes, I think logically we can all say risk management is important. I've got a move from one house to another with construction on the house that we were moving into, and if I'd done more risk planning, I probably would have been moved in a lot earlier. So I didn't necessarily practice what I preached on that, but a year later we're finally moved in, and risk management is important, let's put it that way. Why is it important? It's one of those necessary evils on the project. It costs money and time. I liken it to owning a car. Car ownership is important because you need to get from point A to point B, but unless you're a car collector, cars are expensive and time consuming. They cost money for gas and repairs and oil, etc., but you kind of need them to get from point A to point B. And risk management is not an exciting, sexy part of the project, but it is something that if you don't perform it, you don't do it well, don't put some time and effort and money into it, you're likely to find yourself experiencing risks without preparation. You're going to experience rework on the project. You're going to go run over budget, run over time, which is so likely to happen anyway. It's best to do risk management, plan for risks, and so when they arise, you know how to attack them and avoid them. Do you need a formal risk management plan? Yes and no. I've worked many government projects where risk management plans were formal deliverables that we were paid for. So obviously we put together a nice formal risk management plan. Maybe we're paid $10,000, $20,000 to do so. So it's a deliverable, a profit area on the project. Definitely on projects that are worth lots of money, are very long in duration, very important to your organization, I think a formal risk management plan is very important. It sets the stage for how you're going to manage risks, and it maps out how you and your team and your customer are going to follow processes to get that risk process done. Get risk documented, get a risk planned for, and how you're going to mitigate and avoid those risks. Tools. What kind of tools do you need for risk management? Tools allow planners to explicitly address uncertainty by identifying and generating metrics, prioritizing and developing responses, and tracking risks. Do you need a formal tool? It's up to you. It's a good thing, again, if you have a very detailed, complex project, I would say yes. I have generally, on many occasions, used Excel spreadsheets to document risks, to manage those risks on an ongoing basis, to assign high, medium, low, or percentages to those risks in terms of likelihood to happen and importance of those risks, and make assignments, etc. A spreadsheet may help, but there's lots of tools available. and you can find those by doing searches, the obvious searches, of course, risk management tools, risk management tool comparison, risk management software. There's many risks management tools out there that your organization can use. It all depends on how much you want to spend, how complex of a tool you need. There's simple tools too that allow just for documentation and tracking. So I would advise finding a comparison chart and site. There's several sites out there that are dedicated to reviews of different project management type software, including risk management software, and you can stumble on those and get good advice, probably even user testimonials. Next, I'd like to talk about common risk management mistakes. I've identified 5 that I wanted to talk about. The first one is starting from scratch. I'm big on never reinventing the wheel. I do that with my project schedules on projects, and I do that with risk lists. Because generally, if you're working for one organization, or you tackle projects in one industry or genre, your risks from project to project are going to be fairly similar. At least the basis of your risk list is going to be fairly similar. So start with that. Because if you start from scratch, you could end up with a never-ending process, never-ending list of risks. I think it's a tedious task. Risk management, risk identification is a tedious task anyway. So find a proven tool and method you've used in the past, a proven list that's a good one to start from, and let that kickstart your effort to get started. Otherwise, you might find yourself deer in the headlights and in trouble ever getting started. Another common mistake is replicating the audit process. Auditing and risk management are similar, but they are not the same. On a government project, government projects I've worked with, we had to manage risks, but we also had the auditing and QA portion, look into the project on a quarterly basis as we'd report to the customer on how we were doing, and that audit process was very different from the risk management process. So they are not the same, and you can't look at them through the same lens. Overemphasizing the risk register is another concern. As I mentioned before, if you're listing risks, as you're gathering your team together to go through risks that may happen on your project, it can be a never-ending process if you put too much emphasis on the risk register. What you don't want to do, the problem with creating a risk register is that some people never know when to stop. They'll keep piling on the risk, the most obscure, they'll end up making a never-ending process, and you may stop out of sheer exhaustion and overlook some important risks. So be real, be practical, and think about what actually might happen on your project that would cause problems, as opposed to every potential issue that could arise. You'll never be able to make that list. The fourth one is trying to quantitate using vague terms. I mentioned high, medium, and low. That's pretty vague. If you can, it's best to actually assess risks potential risks in terms of a dollar impact to the project and a real percentage of likelihood to occur. High, medium, low can mean 20 different things to 20 different people. So gathering your team together and your customer together and reviewing the potential risk list and assigning percentages and dollar values to those can help you identify which ones are best to manage hard and fast, which ones you might set as a level that are acceptable risks to possibly realize and worry about later. Again, quantitate as much as you can. It's still guesswork, we know, but as much as you can based on experience in the industry and with the project details and complexity that you're managing. And finally, not monitoring changes during the project that can affect risks. Because projects change. We have changes that have come up on the project, and when we have change orders and new vendors and new requirements, it obviously adds new risks, probably eliminates old risks. So you can't look at that risk register or risk list as static throughout the project. It's a living, breathing document. So as new risks may have appeared and become and because your team is treating the initial list as static, you could overlook potential issues. So just keep in mind, when changes happen in your project, it affects your risk list as well. And you need to go back and revisit that on a regular basis and see what's changed. And it's something that should be in front of you on probably every weekly project call anyway. So remember, it's not static, it's dynamic, and stay on top of it. Thank you very much. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, you can email me at brad@bradegeland.com. That's EGELAND. You can put comments on this website. You can visit Project Smart's forum and comment on it. Look forward to your feedback, and I hope you find this helpful. Thank you very much.